It's my honor to be here to speak about TomoChain. Um, so, so what is TomoChain, right? So TomoChain is, we are a company set up in Singapore. We have 40 people. Most of the developer and engineering team is working from Hanoi, Vietnam. We also have an office in Tokyo as well. So what we are doing, we are working on and building a new public blockchain called TomoChain, right? So, and TomoChain was launched in December last year. And today I'm going to talk about what we have been working on in 2019, what we have achieved so far. So here are some main thing about TomoChain. We are very fast and efficient public blockchain. We have 2-second block time, and the transaction fee is very close to zero. So basically, you can send around 100,000 transactions with one Tomo, which is about like 50 cents right now. The finality is less than 1 minute. Technically, you need like 2/3 of the masternode to sign the block. For finality, it's generally take less than 10 seconds for a transaction to be final. TomoChain have smart contract and it is EVM compatible. That means any application or smart contract work on Ethereum can work on TomoChain as well. TomoChain have the consensus called POSV, right? Proof of stake voting. And we recently introduced TomoZ and TomoX protocol that I can describe a little bit later. So what we have achieved so far this year, by September, TomoChain already have more than 10 million blocks and more than 10 million transactions. We have 150 masternodes producing blocks every day. We have 8 masternode candidates. Out of 64 million Tomo token in circulation, 40 million Tomo is staking right now and securing the network right now. TomoChain have an average of more than 40,000 transactions every day. We have a mobile wallet, which is very easy to use, very friendly to use. We have about 50,000 downloads so far and 1,000 daily active users. Tomo is now listed on Binance, KuCoin, and Gate.io. We have application live running and feature in df.com and df review. I think I'm going to take some time to explain how proof of stake voting consensus works, because it is one of the defining features of TomoChain, and it's powering TomoChain network. We have 2-second block and very fast transaction fee because of proof of staking consensus. So generally, the consensus is that we have the masternode system. The masternode is a computer, right, holding a Tomo account. They are picking up the code base from GitHub and running the client we are TomoChain company producing. And one of the things that's different from TomoChain and comparing to Ethereum is that the masternode here doing a lot of heavy lifting work. And we have something called randomization and double validation. Basically, when a block was produced, it had to be validated by 2 masternodes before attached to the chain. And another different from the proof of stake voting is different as a proof of stake protocol in that we have the incentivization mechanism in which the masternode, there are only 150 masternodes, and you need to be voted to be a block producer, to be one of the top, to be one in top 150. And only full node, masternode can produce the block. And masternode is elected by TomoChain community, right? So the token holder, you can use the mobile wallet or the web wallet to vote for the masternode of your choosing. And you can get reward from voting. And I think by that way, the token holder community are incentivized to vote for the best masternode in the community. So this is the live DApp, the governance Tomo Master governance DApps in action. We have a lot of projects. Masternode right now, KuCoin is running Masternode on TomoChain. We have CoinGecko running a Masternode on TomoChain, Kobo Wallet, and we have the decentralized voting pool as well, like Tomo Pool, and the sticker can pool together and vote together to get better reward using the decentralized voting mechanism. I think this is one of the main difference of TomoChain, because it keeps the staking mechanism and a proof of stake voting consensus keeps the network decentralized but also very performant. So if you are sending transaction using TomoChain, you get the experience very similar to using PayPal or using other modern payment wallet. And the next thing we introduced this year is the TomoZ protocol, the so-called zero friction protocol. So why did we work on TomoZ protocol? So let's think about it in this way. We have a lot of stablecoin issue on Ethereum, like Tether, right, USDC. But whenever you want to send a stablecoin like USDC, you need a little bit of Ether to pay for the gas, right? And it's inconvenient, and it doesn't attract people who are in more mainstream business, because it takes more time to have the two tokens to make a transaction. So with TomoZ protocol, we enable the transaction to TomoZ enable you to pay for the transaction fee in the token itself, right? So for example, you can send USDC on TomoChain and pay the transaction fee using the US dollar in the USDC coin. So maybe 1 cent for a transaction. So the experience is very similar to a modern payment wallet like PayPal. And TomoZ can be used for the loyalty point for your community as well. You can start issuing your token in TomoChain right away and airdrop the token to your community of 100,000 members, and they can start using the token right away. I think that's remove a lot of friction from the current token, the current, the way, different token on other blockchain is running. And TomoZ protocol can be enabled using our application called Tomo Issuer. It takes you less than 1 minute to issue the token and apply TomoZ protocol and get the token running. So I think one of the next big thing we are working on is the decentralized exchange protocol called TomoX. Why is this important? Because with the centralized exchange, obviously big centralized exchange like Binance and KuCoin and Huobi, they have security measure. They keeping the cryptocurrency from user. But at the same time, with a lot of smaller centralized exchange, there are big security risks, right? Because we having security centralized exchange hacking like almost every year, and the security issue is a big one. And one of the solutions for that is using decentralized exchange, in which the end user can self-custody your own token. And TomoX allow you to build Relayer or decentralized exchange on top of TomoChain very easily. And the matching engine will be built in the TomoChain. We have high security, inherit the performance of TomoX, really good UX, and the whole system is still decentralized. I think the TomoX will be launching. We aim to launch TomoX in December this year, and probably like a lot of the Relayer will be live next year. We are producing launch kit so that you can start to launch your Relayer in a very short amount of time. I think this is probably one of the first attempts to make the decentralized exchange reach the performance of a centralized exchange. And it will have a lot of users who start to use the decentralized exchange the first time to have a really good experience. We have some video demo in our TomoChain booth over there if you want to see the video demo in our booth. So what we will be working on in the next few months and next year, I think one of the big issue we are working on is privacy. Because on-chain transaction is very transparent, but it also expose your detail of the financial transaction detail to the outsider. So we are working on the private smart contract and private token using zero no-read proof. This is coming out sometime next year. TomoChain is also very decentralized system, and we really want to pay attention to the governance system. And obviously, the talk going ahead is TomoChain public chain will be governed by the masternode, right? So if you are running a masternode, you will have a say to the governance of the system. And TomoChain is a new public chain, and I think one of the difficult things is how to bootstrap the ecosystem and bootstrap the user growth. And we try to pay more attention and putting more resources and effort to work building the ecosystem and user growth towards the end of this year. So TomoChain was already live since December last year, and we have been running the mainnet for 9 months, right? The first 3 months we are working on some software update, getting the system stable. These are some of the projects already have the token or running on TomoChain. Chip protocol working on travel and booking, P2P travel and booking service. And we have TomoMaster, our main, the governance DApp. Some gaming project. TomoPool is a decentralized voting pool. And TomoSwap is the first swapping exchange on top of TomoChain. So these are some of the projects that are running right now. You can try it if you download the Tomo wallet or using our web browser. Obviously, it's small compared to as a public blockchain like EOS or Ethereum. But I think it's picking up, right? We have a natural organic growth from Vietnam, Southeast Asia, and United States. And obviously, we want to grow it more in the future. So what is upcoming with TomoChain? So deployment of TomoZ and TomoX is definitely one of the big focus for TomoChain in the next couple of months. We want to have one of the major stablecoin on top of TomoChain, right? And gaming, I think gaming and decentralized finance as two big categories within the crypto space. And we want to support projects working on the particular two areas on top of TomoChain. Tomo social and identity is also like an important part. That if we want to get more mainstream user on top of a chain, we have to work on. And the last thing is a developer network So we have 40 people working from Hanoi, and in them there are like 25 developers. And me and Sir, the CTO, we are running Vietnam developer blockchain group. We have more than 5,000 developers right now. So I think it's how to, there are developers out there, right? There are developers who want to work on cryptocurrency, who want to work on blockchain, who want to work on Tomo. But I think the challenge thing is right now is what are the use case? What are the best case that can attract the mainstream user to work the crypto space and using cryptocurrency? I think that's need more talk, and we plan to do a development conference, big ones in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City in the next couple of months. So we recently listed on Binance. They did a really nice report on TomoChain if you want to consult it. They also did a report on the work of tokenization that mentioned TomoChain several times. There's something if you want to read about TomoChain. And obviously, please go to our TomoChain website. We have a lot of information there. And go to output over there. You can have some t-shirt, as a gift from TomoChain team. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Long from TomoChain. I certainly learned a lot of things about TomoChain this time around. And well, right now we'll be opening up the stage for any questions that you might have. But before that, I would like to get the ball rolling. So, Dr. Long, for TomoChain, you are sort of very big on smart contracts and all that. And you mentioned, I think, security is one of the big concerns. So I was just wondering, have there been any auditing that has been done on TomoChain itself?
So TomoChain launched the mainnet in December last year, and we have been working on with several companies for auditing. We're working on with a specialized smart contract auditor on a lot of smart contract on Tomo Master, Tomo Scan, the governance app. We're also working with HackerOne, the biggest security platform in the space. The program has been running for 6 months, and actually we found some bug with Tomo Master, TomoChain website, but there was no big security issue with TomoChain so far.
Oh, all right, that's great to hear. All right, now for the floor, anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask Dr. Long right here. All right, not an issue because I have another question for Dr. Long as well. So you mentioned earlier on there has been about 5,000 developers that's interested to work on TomoChain for your development conferences. So I was just wondering, has this pull factor for the developers been organic, or was there something needed to incentivize? Because a lot of the developers in the cryptocurrency space right now, they are mostly on Ethereum or the more popular, the very big chains like Tron and all that. So how has it been for TomoChain?
Obviously, right now, Ethereum have the biggest pool of focused developer. I said that's because there's a different type of developer, right? So there's a lot of engineer and developer from Vietnam. But they are focusing on, for example, web development, right? And the general full stack development. You need some certain incentive to move a regular good experienced engineer to become a blockchain engineer, right? And the career path for being a blockchain engineer is not very clear right now, right? And that's a big step, a big jump step if you want to focus on building the core platform or building a smart contract. And for example, like in TomoChain, we have 25 full-time engineers, and they are really focusing on building, the core technology, but also writing smart contract. But if we get a new engineer coming in, he will take like maybe 3 months to learn, right? So I think one of the biggest plus of Ethereum is they already have a pool of developers who know and willing to dedicate their career for blockchain and crypto space. I think we probably need to have more financial support for developer building on different things. And it probably can grow. So it can grow with proper support in terms of financial, in terms of like guidance. Yeah.
So you, right there.
I think I saw one of your earlier slides. You said that it's a compatible with EVM. So does it mean that if I port it over my Ethereum smart contract, it will work?
So if you already written some smart contract on Ethereum, it can be ported to TomoChain in less than 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I think the defining advantage of TomoChain is we have 2-second block time. And the fee is very low. So you can enjoy the fast performance of the same smart contract on TomoChain. Obviously, when you are running application on TomoChain, you will have the user from TomoChain community as well.
So I got another question. So in terms of issuing tokens in Ethereum, like it got support of MetaMask and all this, like for TomoChain, like do you have similar tools as well?
In fact, we do, right? So TomoChain is building our own mobile wallet and web wallet, but all of the wallets that work with Ethereum, like MyEther wallet, MyCrypto, and MetaMask, also work with TomoChain. Yeah.
Thank you. Christian.
Hi, Daniel from DQ Concepts. Can you share how do you all decided that there's only 150 master nodes will be sufficient for the chain? That's one. Second thing is that if people were to have control over 75 master nodes, wouldn't that be able to give them the opportunity to do a 51% attack?
So here is the thing, right? There is a certain trade-off between performance, scalability, and the number of full node. So that's, I think, the reason we choose the number 150, because from the empirical testing of the in the testnet in October, November this year, I think that's somewhat the maximum number of full node we can tolerate, and still supporting 1,000 transactions per second and a 2-second block time. Actually, like there is a big jump from 100 master node to 150. If it is less than 100, then the load of the network is much smaller. More than 100 master node and up, right? It is getting a little bit more and more workload. And we compare it with other proof of stake protocol like EOS, which only have 21 block per user. So I think the TomoChain is really try to combine the best balance between decentralization and performance. And here's the thing, the incentivization mechanism of TomoChain is that the staker can actually influence which node will be the master node. And currently we have about 2,000 stakers who choose the top 150 full node to become the master node. So I think it's actually more decentralized than just 150, because you have to win the vote from the staker as well to be a master node.
Right, thanks for the question. Any more from the floor? Right.
How are you financed, or who are your investors at the moment?
So TomoChain did an ICO back in 2018. We raised around 9 million. And we still capitalize spending just cap money to build the platform. So I think later on we can be sustainable by providing a blockchain solution as well. Yeah.
Thank you. We have one more question from this gentleman in the front.
Hi, I was just wondering, like, because you have really quick block times, like 2 seconds, and I mean, if anyone has tried to sync like an Ethereum blockchain from scratch, it takes like, I don't know, weeks or months. So like, let's say if TomoChain gets like that type of adoption, do you have any like strategies to deal with such, like large blockchain sizes? I know you have master nodes, but like, is that enough?
That's a very interesting question and very relevant one. So because if you start to sync the whole blockchain from the start right now, it can take you a week or more to sync the whole chain. And the fact is, the block time is a very fast. It's a very fast change, and it even harder for a like regular computer to sync the whole chain. So. Currently, I think the chain produce around 1 gigabyte of data every day, right? So one way we are working on is, to incentivize the masternode to have really good machine. You can do it on your laptop. That's the unfortunate thing about being very high performance blockchain. You have to have really good machine or really good VPS. And I think the bandwidth is the very strong bandwidth with lower latency is required. And I think right now, one way to make it easier is to use a snapshot from other masternode to sync, right? So you can copy the chain from one of the masternode and follow up from the snapshot. Then you can follow the chain relatively easy. But at the same time, it's exposed risk that you don't start from the Genesis block. So we're trying to find a solution for it. So I think it's really going into how to keep the chain decentralized, and everyone can actually verify the whole, from the Genesis block to the current state. It's a challenge. I think it's a challenge with Ethereum as well. Yeah, thank you.
All right. One last question from the gentleman here. You ask again, sorry. But just for the crowd.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, what's up TomoChain
So
block size?
the block size of TomoChain right now is about 350 gigabytes. And actually, there was a time when it grew 10 gigabytes a day, the blockchain size. So we have an upgrade that actually makes the signing block less frequent. So it actually kept like increases block fidelity a little bit further. So right now, TomoChain transaction fidelity is about less than 10 seconds. It used to be even lower. But it reduced the amount of data storage to like around 1 gigabyte a day right now. And the whole storage is about 350 gigabytes.
All right, thank you for the question. And that wraps up our session for TomoChain with Dr. Long right here.